There was a study done at a high school or an elementary school. They put two plants, identical plants, down the hallway. One of the plants, they said loving things. They put loving words on the outside of the plant and they watered it. One of the other plants, it was about hatred, and the students were told to talk down to the plant. Well, guess what happened in a short period of time? The plant that received loving energy flourished. The plant, and this is legitimate science, it's also spirituality, because I think we're talking about both today, Mario. The plant that received the hate, the plant that received the judgment, it died, it wilted. What does that tell us? How is that plant actually receiving the vibration and the water that's in us? Well, guess what? It's receiving it from the water in itself, from the water that it was fed. So you can only imagine, and I wonder how you feel about this. One can only imagine, if we are mindful of our thoughts, our environment, and our emotions, we are being kind, we're doing our best work to heal ourselves, which is everyone here with us right now. And on top of that, we're making the circuitry, our biological circuitry, pure because of drinking the analemma, the structured water. The only thing that's going to come from that is wholeness. The only thing that's going to come from that is love. But if we're not mindful of our thoughts, our emotions, and our environment, and we're drinking chaotic water, that is a recipe for disaster. Can you talk about that?
Most definitely. I mean, you nailed it exactly. And this is what I love about Dr. Masaru Emoto, a famous Japanese scientist. He proved that water is the key element. He actually took rice and boiled it. And he took it, he put it in two different cups, okay? And he did the same thing like with plants. So we're not talking about a plant. We're talking about a bowl of rice. The only difference is the same rice and it's the same water. The only thing was the intention. So he came to one bowl, one cup, and expressed positive emotions every single day: love, joy, gratitude. And to the other one, he expressed negative emotions. And in a week time, I believe, a week or 10 days, something like that, the cup that had the rice that had positive emotions expressed to it, it had this beautifully fermented smell of rice, and you could eat that rice. And the other one had visible signs of decay. It smelled was really foul. And you could see that there is huge degeneration happening. And the only difference was the way you behaved to it. And the medium for that is water. That's the key element to it. Water absorbs. It's broadband absorber of energy, frequency, and vibration. Whatever you put it out there, it's going to stay there and have an impact there. That's why I'm saying it's so important how we treat each other and basically everything around us, because everything around us is a mirror of some kind. It all comes back to you eventually. So whatever you send out, yeah, of course, yeah.
Maybe in this lifetime or the next. That's a whole spiritual deep dive. There's this word of coherence that I hear you speak about. And, we talk about that in breath work as well, to be in coherence with the heart. It's also something that heart math has done a lot of studies on. Scientific connections that are mirror neurons in the heart to the brain. Well, I wonder if that same thing exists on a scientific and spiritual level to the water in our bodies and the water that we're drinking outside. So this coherence that you speak about, what exactly is the coherence of water? How can we practically understand coherent water, like why that's so important? We've already explored a little bit of the chaos. We know that the water in most, unfortunately, even our streams and lakes and oceans, it's not necessarily coherent right now because of the additives and the pollution and also the collective unrest that we're feeling as a humanity. That's in the water as well. What is the difference between coherent and chaotic? Can you give us clarity on the coherence in water?
I will tell you really kind of one really experiment that we did early on that really blew our minds, which will kind of help tell the story. So in the beginning, we took seeds, plant seeds, and water some with regular water and some with analemma water, because this seed is a tiny, tiny piece of life. It's very, very, very simple. And the seeds that were watered with regular water, we didn't see nothing special. But the seeds that were watered with analemma water, so we just added the water to it, nothing else. We started seeing these sinusoidal shapes of peaks and valleys of biophoton emission. We're wondering, like, what's happening there? Like, why is this happening? It really has a rhythm to it. After a while, we realized that it followed the tides. So a lemon water connected electromagnetically, this tiny piece of life with the larger circadian rhythm of nature. It really blew our minds that this could happen. So now we are talking about not just coherence within ourselves, we're talking about coherence with our larger environment, but the relevant one, Mother Earth, the nature of things, not what man created, so to speak, something which is not really coherent. Mm-hmm. We're talking about something that is truly relevant for us as human beings. So this was really something that that's why we very often, we call NLM water conscious water, because it really opens pathways for us to be electromagnetically connected to what's relevant, not just within ourselves, because this is what happens. You get connected very well within yourself, but not only that, you get connected. That it's a spiritual phenomenon. You really get connected to something which is much larger than yourself.
Check out some of the videos on this screen that are perfectly curated based on the video you just saw. Make sure you follow me, and I'll see you in the next video.